I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream. Yes, we are back. We are back with the lives. It's been about a week or so, but to be honest, guys, there hadn't really been enough happening for me to go live. So I've been tying you over with a few videos and that, but we are back now. Fixtures are back, coming thick and fast up to the international break. So the lives are back, and fear not, people, they'll be here on a regular basis. Big game this weekend, lunchtime kickoff tomorrow, West Ham away. And do you know what? I was having a little look before. The last time we won at the London Stadium with fans in the stadium was the last time we won the league. So 2017 was the last time we won in the London Stadium with fans. Obviously, we won in the COVID season, but since then, you know, we haven't won. You know, last three, we've had a draw and 2 defeats there. This is a tough place to go for us, and not the best team news coming out of the press conference either before, obviously before tomorrow's game. No Malo. I would presume no Romeo Lavia. He wasn't mentioned, but Maresca didn't mention him at all. No one thought they'd use their brains in there and ask about whether Lavia was available or not. So you've got to presume that he's not available. But an interesting press conference from Maresca as well, you know, in terms of clarifying where he sees all the attacking players playing. Very much views Christopher and Nkunku as a number 9. So it's Nkunku and Jackson vying for that number 9 role. We're going to dive into that debate. At some point, we are going to have to get Nkunku a run in this side. It's going to be interesting to see what he does with the right back situation. There are obviously plenty of options available, plenty of alternatives available that don't include Axel Disasi. We absolutely cannot see him playing right back tomorrow. Absolutely zero chances of that happening. That simply can't happen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, guys. You know, we're back, lunchtime kickoff. No Anthony Taylor for us. And we've also obviously had guys as well. Update on Reece James. Maresca has no idea when he's going to be back. No idea. You know, he doesn't know, which is not great. Which is really not great. We do not have an idea at the moment. So yeah, you know, more questions there about Reece's fitness as well, and when we're actually going to see him this season. Not even back in training. So yeah, there's a lot to get into. But anyway, guys, big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you are smashing that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you are new round here as well. We are racing towards 12k. Progress has slowed a little bit, but we're getting back on it, guys. So make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel as well if you are new round here. Let's say hello to a few people, and then we will dive into proceedings. If the Disasi plays right back, it's going to be a long afternoon. Yeah, agreed. I think that's probably the most likely outcome is how we ended the Bournemouth game. Tosin comes in to start alongside Colwell, and then Fofana moves out to right back. I think that's the most likely solution. Brother, what about Madueke? Madueke will play on the right. So yeah, I mean, look, that's obviously an option, but that's probably what I would start with. But except it'd be Madueke on the right instead of Neto. Nkunku must start up front. Yeah, look, I think there's definitely a case for that. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I like to think Maresca's an intelligent guy, and you know, he saw that Disasi was poor against Bournemouth, took him off. I think he knows now. He's seen that enough times to realise that is not the solution for us. Not the solution. Yeah, nothing. There's not really anything to say. You know, it's a slow burner. Everything that has come out is out there now, and until there's any major updates, then I think you're very much just not going to hear an awful lot of news on that at all, which is absolutely absolutely a plus. Funny as fuck media trying to criticise Chelsea having 44 first team players, but the squad photo realised that, yeah, well, this is it. You know, this is it. You know, people don't realise that, yeah, okay, there were that many players on the books, but they weren't all turning up to first team training, and they weren't all part of the first team squad. No, I think Noni will still start. You know, yeah, a quietish game against Bournemouth, but I don't think one game's enough for him to be dropped. There'll be wholesale changes for the game against Barrow on Tuesday night. So yeah, I think Maresca will go as strong as he possibly can on this one. I think he'll go as strong as he possibly can. given that, the players that play tomorrow, are very, very unlikely to play against Barrow. So yeah, but there's plenty of scope for rotation on Tuesday evening. But obviously we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, in terms of let's start with the Reece James stuff then, because obviously it is a concern for people. But I don't really know where we go from here. Enzo Maresca on the Reece James timescale. We do not have an idea at the moment in terms of injuries. In the past, we always hope we can find solutions. In this case, it hasn't been. In this case, it has been very unlucky because we planned to change him after 65 minutes and he got injured on 62, 63 minutes. So that must be in the penultimate game of pre-season. So that must have been against Real Madrid. That must have been against Real Madrid that injury happened then, because that was the last time that Reece played. Obviously, he didn't play against Inter, and we haven't seen him since. So he must have got injured in that game against Real Madrid, the final game in the States, and then obviously since then we've not seen him. He hasn't even returned to training. So yeah, it's worrying. Now, I'm not saying that let's sell him, let's give up on him. But there does need to be a conversation about what we do about this moving forwards. Is this the fault of Chelsea? Is this the fault of Reece James? Has he played too much football at too young an age? Has he constantly been rushed back, and it's all taking its toll? I don't know. These are all answers here that we don't really know what we're going to do. I mean, look, who do we have at right back? Well, Gusto's out injured, so there's Josh Akimpong, the youngster, but I don't think he's going to play. So you're looking at a situation where you might be Disasi, which hopefully not. I think the most likely outcome to what we're going to see is how we finish the Bournemouth game. So Tosin will start at centre back and Fofana will play right back. For me, that's the most likely solution to this one. But it's a concern with Reece because he's missing so many games. And there's an interesting thread here that I saw on Twitter, which kind of sums up the situation quite well right now. So there's the idea / hope of what Reece James can be versus what is the actual reality. His appearances have consistently gone down each season. So 47 in 2021, 39 in 21-22, 22-23 made 24. And then last season, it was 11 appearances in all comps. He's now missed 6 games this season already. It's going to be 7 tomorrow. And let's be honest, that's going to be double figures before we see him again. He's going to, this spell out, he's going to miss at least 10 games, could be 12. Which is just crazy, really, really crazy. And I get it, you want to be cautious and take time with him and whatnot, but how many times can we sort of keep allowing this to happen? And then, did he get overplayed in pre-season? Obviously, we're not going to loan him. Obviously, not sure what the answer is. But this is a fair point, though, is that you cannot squad build around a player who is only available for a few weeks per season. And it is a real shame because Reece is so talented and makes such a big impact, but you can't plan for him to be available and you can't plan to sort of build the team around him and make him a sort of a main part of your plans because the guy's never available. No, we didn't just give Fofana a year. That's how long his injury was. We didn't just say, go and have your year off. He did an ACL injury. That's very different to what's going on here. This is a recurring pattern now for Reece over 3, 4, 5 seasons now. And I'm by no means saying sell him or whatever. He absolutely, he has been rushed back on previous occasions, which hasn't helped at all. Of course, he's been rushed back. But, there comes a point where you're like, well, how many times do we keep making exceptions here? How many times do we keep saying, he's so talented. He obviously makes such a big impact. He's one of the best players in the world when he's fit. But he's not reliable at the end of the day. And you cannot rely on him. So I think Chelsea are going to need to be in a situation now where when Reece James is available, it's great and you use him, but you have to accept that you've got a player here who, with what evidence suggests, is not going to be available for large chunks of every season, and you make alternative plans to use other players there. As far as I'm concerned, Gusto's the first choice right back at the football club purely because he's available for the majority of the time. It's as simple as that in my view. He's available for the majority of the time, and therefore he probably is the first choice right back by default at the moment. If Reece can get himself fit and back playing again and a consistent, run of games, can he play 10 games on the spin without being, without having to pull up injured? It's mad. I love Reece, great player, but he's proven he's not reliable. Agreed. Yeah, no, we aren't rushing him back. Not anymore. We're not. In the past, we definitely have because the other alternative was an Aspie on dead legs, which really wasn't a great solution at all. So you can understand why he was rushed back in the past, but now there's no excuses to rush him back. But the problem is he's proving time and time again he's not reliable right now, and it really pains me to say it because he's so talented and makes such a big impact on this team. I don't know what you do. Maybe you just accept it's the reality. What else is being said here? Can players overcome consistent injury problems? Well, yeah, I suppose they can. Pulisic, Loftus-Cheek cited as an example at Milan, ironically, since leaving Chelsea. Is Chelsea the common denominator here? If Reece, in an alternative universe, if Reece did leave the club, would he go somewhere else and not have any injury problems and put and able to play 30, 40 games a season? Is that what we're talking about here? Is that the possibility? Well, there's only one way to find out, and I don't think we're going down that route just yet. Hudson-Odoi, another one, has stayed pretty fit since leaving Chelsea. Is there anything else on this thread? It is an interesting discussion because, again, the surgery is going to stop this from happening. It's so many different medical teams, so many different physios, different rehabs. He's had surgery now. The big one is going to be, guys, is when he does get back on the pitch again. How long is he going to last? That's the big one. That's the big one for me. And look, I'm a massive fan of Reece James, and I'm by no accounts saying that he should be sold. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But I'm saying right now, when we're looking like he's going to miss 10, 12 games, 7th game tomorrow, he's not going to play against Barrow, he's not going to play against Brighton, he's not going to play against Ghent in the Conference League, and he's not going to play against Nottingham Forest in the league. He's going to miss the next 4 games. You're looking at 11 or 12. You're looking at 11 games, and then it's the international break, and maybe he comes back after that. But if we're having 11 game spells out at the start of the season, it's a huge problem, and it does leave Chelsea with some sort of decision to make in terms of how do we approach this, because we've got a top player on our hands who is never available. We've done all sorts of different rehabilitation. We've gone down all sorts of different routes, and yet we keep arriving at the same problem. Now, is it because he's played too much football at a young age? Is that part of the reason? I don't know. I haven't got all the answers to what's going on right now. But it's sad, really. That's the main thing that we can take from this. It's sad because he's such a talented player. It must be so tough for him, and it's obviously difficult. It's difficult for Chelsea as well. So there's no winners here. There's no winners at all. No, definitely in the Thomas Tuchel seasons, he's been rushed back because we've been so desperate for him. You know, he absolutely has. Last season he wasn't. You know, it was almost 5 months out with that hamstring injury and the surgery in the end. Maresca's very ruthless. Jackson needs to score goals, otherwise he'll be dropped. Yeah, quite possibly. To me, it looks like Reece might need a second surgery. It might be uncomfy, but for it's not even about how much money you're on. You know, you just can't be missing that amount of games full stop, regardless of how much money you're being paid. The money parts are relevant, really, in my view. You know, if you're, you know, you can't really afford to be having a captain that's just absent, you know, for the vast majority of the season. Yeah, that would be my bet, that Reece would probably be back after the next international break, probably miss the next 4 or 5 games. Yeah, look, obviously, as I said, the big thing is going to be, well, is he going to be fit and available? You know, how long is he going to play for? When he does eventually get back on the pitch, because he's going to have to be managed very, very carefully, and that's going to be the big telling thing. Is next time he returns to action, what are we going to get from him, and how long is he going to be? How long is he going to be out for? These are the questions that we need the answers to. And guys, talking of questions, why is there only 16 likes? That is atrocious, people. Absolutely awful. 53 in the building. I know it's Friday afternoon. I haven't been live for a while. The algorithm's probably doing me dirty, not getting the numbers we normally do. But guys, there is more than enough for there to be more than 17 likes. Let's get this up to 50 likes as quickly as possible. Should be on 100 likes by now. So make sure you are smashing that like button, guys. Run it up. It's free. It takes seconds to do. So make sure you are smashing that like button, guys. It really helps me out, and we need to get these numbers up and get ourselves cooking back in that YouTube algorithm. So yeah, guys, 20 likes is poor. It's really poor. So let's make sure we sort that out. Why would you give James a captain when he's been injured? No, look, there's a leadership group now. I think it's Caicedo, Colwell, Enzo, and James. So the armband will be obviously passed round between those guys, depending on who is available. Money is irrelevant, but it makes it even worse that he's one of our highest paid players. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Bro, it's not. I'll be honest, bro. It's not a great away day. I'll be real. The stadium's not that great, but yeah, it's away days are enjoyable nonetheless. I may well see you there. The only positive in the situation is that we've signed a competent player in Gusto. Yep, that's what makes it a little bit better. Is that we do have Malo Gusto. That for me is a plus. But again, we're just not sure right now what we're going to get, really. Because Gusto's missing games as well. Gusto is missing games as well, and that's not an ideal situation to be in either. So yeah, it's a real problem here. A real problem. I mean, look, is it getting to the point where I mean, are we getting to a point where we think, fuck, we need to buy I don't know. Is another right back going to be required in January, or just going forwards in general? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know what our exact record is at 12:30 kickoffs. We haven't had that many, really. Reece might be the next Hertzler or Nagelsmann, giving up his playing career due to injuries and become a great coach in the future. I don't know. I mean, Lavia was never a Gallagher replacement anyway. You know, he was signed last summer when Gallagher was still here. I think Lavia is going to be a top player for us, but again, there's the injury situation that is hanging over him, and you can't escape that. You really can't escape that. Did Maresca say how long till Lavia and Gusto are back? No, he didn't give a time scale. But I presume Brighton would be would be one that would be targeted. I would imagine that Barrow, maybe Barrow, but I think probably, I think unlikely. Going 1-1, West Ham always seems to... Yeah, West Ham's a tough one. But let's move away from the Reece James situation. Let's hope at some point we do see him back on the football pitch. And let's talk about attacking options, because Maresca clarified things here. Now, we know how many good attacking options we've got. We're sort of not really sure who's fitting where and you know, where we're seeing players, like how it's sort of like sectioned out. But this is what Maresca said. Hopefully I can clarify. As left wingers, we have Sancho, we have Jaden and Misha. On the right, we have Noni and Pedro. As a 10, we have Cole and Joao. And as a 9, we have Christoph and Nicholas. So basically, Maresca clarifying here that the left wing options are Sancho or Mudryk are going to play down the left. Noni or Madueke or Neto are going to play on the right. And then Cole Palmer and Joao Felix are going to be the number 10 options. And then Nkunku and Jackson are going to rotate as the number 9 options. I mean, I wonder how Mark Guiu feels having seen that. You know, it can't be great for him seeing that and thinking, oh fuck, you know, I haven't even been mentioned. But look, that does kind of make sense. It's sort of what probably many of us would have thought, is that, you know, those are going to be the options. And when you look at it like that, it does make sense. You know, yeah, it's poor. I was saying at the top of the show, you know, the last time we won at the London Stadium with fans in the stadium was when we won the league in the 16-17 season. You know, we haven't won at West Ham since 16-17 with fans in the stadium. As you say there, you know, the last time we won there was the COVID year where there was no one there. Last season we got battered. The season before it was a 1-1 draw with Felix scoring. And then the season before that we lost 3-2 with a Mendy blunder. So yeah. Yeah, I think we probably do. Although I'm not really sure how it's going to work now, because if you've got Nkunku and Jackson as your centre forward options, then what happens? You know, then what happens would be my thing. You know, what, you then sign another centre forward and you've got Nkunku, Jackson, and someone else as 3 centre forward options. I'm not really sure. It's difficult. Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm sure that Guiu will probably play on Tuesday night, but he's not going to get regular chances. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're going to sign a striker in January anyway. I'd be surprised if that was the case. I really would be. I personally don't see that happening. West Ham have got some good players, but again, you know, it's all very well saying they get into our starting 11. West Ham won 1 game this season. They've not played well. If we're being totally honest, does Mohamed Kudus get in the Chelsea lineup? I don't think so, personally. I mean, you've got players like Lucas Paqueta, Jared Bowen. You know, you got good players, but I don't think they get into the starting 11. Would I want Kudus instead of someone like Palmer? No. Would I want Bowen instead of Madueke? No. I don't think there's as many as you might think there are, personally. I wouldn't say we fumbled it. I just think that Chelsea were, obviously, there were things they were unsure about, and obviously now that he's had a good start to the season, it's very easy to look back and say, oh, we should have gone and signed Duran because he started the season well. Well, I mean, you say West Ham play as a team, they're very much finding their feet still under Lopetegui. You know, it's not been a great start. You know, 1 win, they won away at Palace. They lost to Villa, they lost to City. They were very lucky to get a stoppage time equaliser against Fulham last weekend. They haven't started particularly well. I'm not saying this is an easy game, by the way, but this is West Ham are by no means a finished article either. They find themselves very much in a similar situation to what we find ourselves in as well. A team that are, you know, finding their feet, a lot of new faces, and are getting used to a new manager and a new way of playing. Guys, we're still only on 27 likes. What's going on here? There's 68 in the building now. The numbers are starting to build a little bit. So make sure you are smashing that like button, guys, and please keep subscribing to the channel as well if you are new around here. It would be greatly appreciated. So guys, you need to make sure you are running it up. Smash that like button, people. I can't tell you how important it is. And we are 13 subscribers away from 11.8k. It's been a very slow grind from this 11.7 to 11.8, but we're now 13 away. So please smash the subscribe button if you're new, and of course keep running those likes up. But this makes sense. With the rumors that Mudryk could leave, I see Nkunku moving to the 10 or wing. Nkunku's not a winger. You know, if Chelsea think that Nkunku's a winger, then we're just absolutely wasting him completely. That is not his game. It doesn't suit him at all, and it doesn't work. That's the reality of the situation, in my opinion. Look, I like what I've seen, early signs so far. I like how honest he is in press conferences and whatnot. But ultimately, we haven't really seen enough to know how good he's going to be right now. We really haven't seen enough yet to sort of to know. He's not, for me. He's not. I mean, I would love to see Gyökeres coming to Chelsea. Nkunku's not a winger. You know, I think people just obviously don't understand what Nkunku is. You know, watch where he's played his best football at RB Leipzig. Watch where he plays. He plays off a striker. He played off Andre Silva. You know, at Leipzig to great effect. The guy's not a winger. The guy is a number 10 / second striker. The problem is he's having to play, if he's going to play for Chelsea, he's going to have to play as a striker because there's no room anywhere else. You know, he's not going to play ahead of Cole Palmer as a number 10. You know, he just isn't right now. He didn't though, did he? He played as a 10 for Leipzig. He played off Andre Silva when he was there. You know, he's not a winger. You know, you look at how Enzo Maresca deploys wingers. You don't look at Nkunku, and he's not like a Madueke or a Sancho or whatever. You know, he's not a direct winger. He is very much someone that likes to occupy the central spaces. You know, could he do it? Could he play there in an emergency? Sure. You know, if it was absolute life or death, but that is not how you get the best out of Nkunku, by shoving him on the wing. I don't think we need a striker. I think we can cook with what we have, and come January, I still think we need a striker. I mean, I'd look at addressing it next summer. That would be my view on it. I would look at addressing it next summer. But who knows really? You know, we might try and do something in January. Maybe secure someone for January. Sorry, in January for a summer arrival. But Nkunku as second striker, no, he doesn't really plays better there. No, Enzo will play because he'll be captain. I think there's a chance that Vega still starts though. Carney's going to be gone. Let's be perfectly honest here. Kendry Paez, I think, is going to play more as a number 8, but yeah, in that sort of area. Yeah, and this is something that's going to have to be sorted out. This is something that's going to have to be sorted out. This is something that's going to have to be thought about. Esteval can play as a 10 and on the wing as well. So there's not like, oh, he's going to be shoehorned into playing as a number 10. That's not the case. But yeah, it's going to be a problem. You know, it's all great having these options and whatnot, but ultimately there does come a point where you're thinking, yeah, shit, like we've got there's gonna be a few issues here. There are gonna be a few issues here. And I don't know. I don't know what the solution's going to be to all these guys. If we're being perfectly honest, there just isn't room for them. You know, if you look at what we've got right now, and you chuck in Palmer and Esteval, someone needs to go. Someone is going to have to go. And obviously Mudryk's the obvious one, but then you chuck in Esteval and Paez. I think with Esteval and Paez coming, arguably two from this list need to go. If we're being really, really honest about things, 2 from that list need to leave. And other than Mudryk, I'm looking at the others and I'm thinking, maybe it's Madueke. It's not going to be Palmer. It's not going to be Felix, and it's not going to be Pedro Neto, and it's not going to be Sancho either. So you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, it's either Madueke or it's Nkunku that may well have to leave. That's kind of that for me is sort of the situation that we may well be looking at here. I think loan Mudryk to Marseille. I mean, look, Mudryk, I think, is still going to be here this season. Obviously, next summer, depending how he does, I think is going to this season's going to depend whether he's here or not. Is Paez guaranteed to come in and get minutes? I don't know as much on Paez, but Esteban is not going to go on loan. That's what everyone's saying. He's going to come in with a view to getting minutes from the off. I don't know if the situation with Paez is similar or not. I maybe, although you talk about that, Paez is a lot more, further along in his development than Esteban is. I know they're the same age, but Paez has been an established senior international for a little bit of time. Now he's been playing regular club football for a while as well. So actually, Paez is more established than Esteban in terms of, where they are in their careers, even though they're the same age. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I would suggest that it will be one of those three will leave, and it's obviously Mudryk's the obvious one. But I wouldn't rule out two of those three leaving with Nkunku, with Paez and Esteban coming in. We must get top four, otherwise our best players will put in. No, look, I don't think that's gonna. I don't think that if we don't come top four this season, that's suddenly going to happen. But yeah, look, the longer you miss out on the Champions League and you don't qualify for it, there is there is going to be some decisions to be made. Yeah, look, Esteban can play as a 10 or on the wing. It's very flexible. I know there was an article saying that he's demanded to play as a 10. That is not true. That's not true. But yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting one. But Nkunku, if he's going to play in this team and he's going to feature in this team, it's going to be as a striker. He's not playing anywhere else. Maresca's made that very clear. Nkunku and Jackson are the forwards, and they're going to be rotating. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. I mean, just on Nkunku and Jackson. I mean, Maresca has obviously been speaking about the pair. He's obviously a big fan of both of them. He does really like Nicholas Jackson. Comments today on Jackson. So on Nkunku and Jackson situation, we used Christo in the 9 in the last game. It's completely different to Nicholas. Nico's a number 9, and Christo isn't a real number 9. I'm so happy with the squad we have, not just Christo and Nicholas. Christo doesn't like to play wide. He likes to be in the centre of the pitch. We know that. But sometimes to find the balance, he plays in a position that isn't the best for him. So, yeah, as I was saying, Nkunku wants to play centrally. Sure, you could maybe play him wide on occasions, but that doesn't get the best out of him. Maresca's aware of that it doesn't get the best out of him. He knows. He knows that. We all know that Nkunku is not a winger, and he shouldn't be playing there. It's very, very simple. It's very obvious in my view. That is the reality of the situation that we obviously that we find ourselves in right now. Nkunku and Jackson are competing for that number 9 slot, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because they're two very different players. They're two very, very different players. Because if we're being real, I think Nkunku is our best finisher at the club. If I want a chance to fall to anyone, in front of goal, it's going to be Nkunku, closely followed by Cole Palmer. But then you've got the other thing is that Jackson brings a lot more to the table, in my opinion, than Nkunku does. Obviously, Jackson does miss chances. We know he's going to miss chances. He's young, he's still developing, and his finishing needs working on. But everything else that he brings to the team is big. He brings a lot to the table, and it's tricky. It is tricky. It doesn't mean just because, I mean, Maresca here commenting himself on this. Is that it there, or is that it? This is it here. He's on Jackson. He's doing very good in the training sessions, and then in the Premier League, City was good. And then he scored against Wolves. Palace, until the end, he was fighting. Did well against Bournemouth. Missed a few chances, but that doesn't mean he's not playing well. I would agree with that sentiment. Just because you've missed a few chances doesn't mean that you're not playing well. But ultimately, yes, he offers a lot. He stretches teams. He runs in behind. He works channels. He works hard for the team. He creates opportunities. But excuse me, he is in the team. So realistically, he's in the team to stick the ball in the back of the net, and that is one aspect of his game that does need to improve. But then there's so many other aspects that he offers to the team that are really positive. So yeah, it's a tricky one, guys. It is a tricky one as to who you go with. It really is a tricky one. But I look at it, and again, he's talking. Maresca was talking about the battle between Nkunku and Jackson, and we used Christo in the league in the last game. He's completely different to Nicholas. I've already read that. Christo doesn't like to play wide. We've done all that. But yeah, look, it's an interesting dynamic, but it's kind of crazy to think, right, that we may well have signed Nkunku and he's going to end up being a second choice number 9, which is kind of crazy because I think when we signed him, everyone thought that everything was going to revolve around him. He was going to be the main guy. And at the moment, it appears like Nkunku is basically a second choice number 9 right now. And he's not really a real number 9. But if he's going to play regularly in this team, that is where he's going to have to play. It is kind of a mad situation when you kind of think about it. That is a mad one, really. It is a mad one. I can't lie, guys. It is a mad one. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to think, to be perfectly honest, guys. We're still on 37 likes. Come on, people. There's 70 in the building. No, there's no way that everyone in here has smashed that like button. So, guys, let's get this up to 50 likes as quickly as possible. It's free. It takes seconds to do. It really isn't difficult, guys, and it really helps me out. So, yeah, no, we're back live. We're back in the mix doing this stuff. So, can you please smash the like button, because it's free. It takes seconds to do, and I would greatly appreciate it, guys. It really does help me out. You people have been great so far. But we need to get these likes up, guys. We can't be on 39 likes. It's pathetic. Really poor. So let's get it moving, guys. Let's get it moving. Normally it's 100 likes target. So we need to get moving, guys. We need to get moving. So please hit that thumbs up button, and please subscribe if you're new around here as well. I'd rather go Man City way. Haaland doesn't have it all, but he's a pure finisher. Yeah, sure. He's a pure finisher. Absolutely. Nkunku as striker against City in pre-season. Yeah, look, Nkunku played as striker in pre-season, but isn't Jackson shoehorned in also as a striker? We needed one badly when he came. Jackson's a second choice striker winger. Jackson's the first choice striker at Chelsea right now. Whether Maresca wants to admit it or not, Jackson is the first choice striker right now because he's been starting all the games, whereas Nkunku's started one game this season in the league. Yes, run it up, people. Oh yeah, no, we know that Chukwuemeka's gone next summer. Then it's between Felix and Christo. It's a coin toss, and maybe just about who we get a better offer. Felix is not going anywhere. Not anytime sooner. He's literally only just arrived. I honestly do worry that potentially Nkunku at some point could be on his way out. Maybe. Would you start Sancho? Yeah, I probably would. To be fair, I probably would. Only I know with 100% no Disasi at right back. Yep, I absolutely agree on that. Absolutely agree on that one. But it's going to be an interesting game, guys. It's an interesting situation that we find ourselves in. We've got 7 points from 4 games. It's probably where I expected us to be. It's what you'd expect. It's what you would expect, I think. I think it's the bare minimum. It's probably where I think we would be. I probably said we would have got a point at Bournemouth and beaten Palace at home, but I think we're I think we are on the points that I expected us to be on. Didn't expect us to beat City. We beat Wolves. We drew against Palace and we beat Bournemouth. So ultimately, I think we've done what we should have done. And we need to be pushing on now, because if you look at the run of games that we've got coming up between now and to be fair, look, everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to win. But given our record at West Ham, I legitimately would take a point tomorrow. I don't want a point. I want 3. But if I was offered the point, I would take it, given it's 12:30 kickoff, given how difficult we found it there in recent weeks, given the right back situation and the players that we've got missing. I would take it. I know that sounds a bit, defeatist maybe, and we should be aiming higher and whatnot. I absolutely understand that point of view, but I would take the point. I don't want the point. I want 3, but I would take it, ahead of tomorrow's game. But you look at the games that we've got coming up, people, and let's have a quick look because this is our last away game. This is our last away game, guys, until October 20th. The next 5 matches in all competitions are all at home. So if we get a look at this now, let me just bring it up on the screen. It's an interesting one. Is that too small? That is pretty small. Let me just zoom in a bit on this. So obviously, so we go to West Ham tomorrow. And then we've got 5 home games in a row. We've got Barrow in the Cup, then we've got Brighton, then Ghent, then Forest. So this is our last away game for a month, basically. Because we then have Liverpool, and then it's Panathinaikos, and then it's Newcastle, and then we're into some tough ones. But yeah, that is going to be interesting, guys. Get through this away game. We've got 1, 2. There's 4 games there, right? Where we get through. If we can win tomorrow, there's no reason why we shouldn't be winning all of these next 5 games up to the international break. There's no reason for me why we can't go 4 in a row at home, and we could potentially do 5 on the spin. You look at those games, and those are all winnable games. Barrow, obviously, Brighton, I know they started the season well, but that's a winnable game at home. Ghent, obviously, and Forest as well. So we're looking at these games and you're thinking, right, okay, there are opportunities here for us to do something decent, and that would be a huge plus for us, a huge plus for us. It really would be. Guys, we're 6 likes away now from 50. Come on, there's 70 people in here. Please do run it up. Please do run it up, guys. It's free and it takes seconds to do. And I would, of course, greatly appreciate it. So make sure you are running it up, guys. Please, let's get it done. Come on. Yeah, Brighton and Forest has got to be 6 points. Has to be 6 points. It really is as simple as that. Next, those 2 home games, 6 points. Anything less is a major disappointment. I'll be honest. It is a major disappointment. Anything less, but that's sort of where we're at, really. But yeah, get through this West Ham game. Hopefully, get the 3 points. And then you're looking at the next run up. You're looking at the run up to the international break with the 4 games at home, and you're thinking, yeah, that's very, very doable to win all of those. And then you're sort of feeling a little bit better about the season, and you're sort of starting to build some momentum and whatnot. So yeah, this is an exciting one, guys. This is absolutely an exciting one. No 2 ways about it. In my view, an exciting one for sure. I think look, it's too early to say that you win your 5th game of the season and then you're going to have a good season. I don't think we can be saying that, but yeah, we're going to wait and see. But guys, let's get into the team then. Let's have a little bit of a discussion about the team scenario here. So let me just check if anything else has come up. Guys, keep smashing that like button. Keep subscribing if you are new around here as well. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's see if any further news has come through. Let's see if any further news has come through on this one. Let's have a look. Don't think there has. It's gonna be an interesting one, but let me say my thoughts here. Yeah, I don't worry as much against the bigger sides. I know that's weird, and that's a similar situation that we've had, that we've had previously, guys. But it's more against your West Hams, your Bournemouths, your Crystal Palaces that I worry about more than say playing, a City or an Arsenal or whoever it might be. You do kind of worry more about these sorts of games. But obviously, in goal, we know it's going to be Robert Sanchez. And do you know what? Fair play. He's actually done all right this season. He's done pretty well. He's done pretty well this season so far. Won us the game against Bournemouth basically with his performance. Bro, how has Maresca been awful so far? Can please explain what's been awful? Yeah, we want more points on the ball, of course we do. But what's been awful? Should we have beaten Man City? No. Okay, the only thing you could say that maybe we should have beaten Palace at home. Other than that, everything else has gone to plan. As expected. So what has been awful? I'd love to know what's been awful. But anyway, Sanchez in goal. Fair play to him. He's on a good run of form at the moment. And do you know what? He hasn't really had a bad game this season, if I'm being totally honest. But we need to see more from him on a consistent basis before I fully change my mind. But fair play to him right now. He is doing pretty well. I'll give him that. So he'll obviously continue in goal. The centre back pairing now for me, it will be Cole. I would go Colwell and Fofana, but for what I'm going to do in the right back situation, we're going to go with this. I'm going to go Colwell, and then Tosin comes in for his first start of the season, and then we have obviously Cucurella at left back, and then we have Fofana at right back. That for me, I think, is the best solution. And then you and then you have the situation where Cucurella will invert into midfield, Colwell goes out to left centre back, Tosin plays central centre back, and then Fofana tucks in as a right centre back when we're in possession. But out of possession, it'll be set up like that. In possession, Fofana tucks in as a right centre back. But you're not going to be inverting Fofana into midfield, in my view. If he plays there, we're not going to be seeing that. But that's the back four that I would go with, and I think that's the best way, in my view, of getting round the right back issue. Bro, the academy, Akinpong's not going to play. He simply isn't going to play. He'll be lucky if he's even on the bench. If we're going to see Akinpong, we would have seen him, against Bournemouth. And we probably would have seen him against, he wasn't even in the squad, so we haven't had one good performance under him. Bro, is that, you've got a picture of Sir Alex Ferguson there, right? And you're claiming to be a Chelsea fan with a picture of Sir Alex and Paul Ince, it looks like. Oh, what are you talking about? Sanchez, Tosin, yeah, agreed. So that's going to be the defense there. Then for me, from there, I'm looking at midfield, and the midfield bit, the makeup of the midfield here is gonna be crucial here. This is where the game, in my opinion, is gonna be won or lost. This is where it'll be won or lost. And I don't know how that's going to go in there. We have looked weak in midfield recently. We've been run over. So let's wait and see what happens there. But I would go with Enzo Fernandez coming back into the team. He'll be playing as he'll be playing deepest. So Enzo is going to go in there for me. I mean, people talking about Vega possibly playing. I don't see it personally. I think he'll be on the bench. I play Caicedo here. Oh, why is it all in capitals? And then I would have Cole Palmer here. And with no Lavia, I think that's the best setup. I know Vega did well. You don't forget Fofana had terrific injuries. Going to take it. Yeah, of course it is. It's going to take him a while. It is going to take him a little bit of time to get back up to speed. There's no denying that. Look, Maresca, Lavia wasn't mentioned, which to me seems like that he therefore isn't available. You know, he wouldn't start anyway, in my view. But I think the best we're going to get from Lavia tomorrow is the bench. That would be my view on things. So that's what I'd go with so far. You could make an argument for Renato Vega somewhere potentially, but I don't see it. I mean, look, you could say shift Cucurella to right back, play Vega left back. That's something that I've mentioned. But the fact that, you know, we saw Fofana go out to right back and Tosin come on against Bournemouth, that makes me think that this is what we're going to see. Is that what finished against Bournemouth? That's what we're going to see there, in my view. But I could be wrong. Yes, all good. Thank you. All good. Noni is good. I like him, but I don't think he's better than Palmer right wing. I personally think he is. You know, for how Maresca wants to play, you know, Palmer got stuck out there against Bournemouth and was virtually anonymous. You know, playing on the right-hand side under Maresca is very, very different to playing on the right-hand side under Pochettino. I'm not saying that Palmer can't do a job from the right-hand side, but he is not what you would describe as a winger in a Maresca system. Maresca himself confirmed in a press conference today, Palmer is going to be playing as a 10. You know, him and Felix are the number 10 options right now. Sancho's left winger, Neto right is not working. Look, I mean, look, Neto is a right wing. I don't think Neto will start because he got subbed off at half time against Bournemouth. I think he'll find himself on the bench. There's options there. There's options, but I don't think we'll see that tomorrow. We'll definitely see that at points this season, but I don't think we'll see that tomorrow. What I think we'll see tomorrow in the front line is well, this is what I'm going for anyway. Is Madueke on that right-hand side. That's what I'm going with there. And then on the left, I'm going with Jadon Sancho. And then you might be surprised here, but I would actually start Nicholas Jackson. Because I actually think Jackson is more effective from the start, and Nkunku's actually better coming off the bench. And I know that I know that might be a bit strange to say that, but that's what I'm seeing right now. That is what I'm seeing right now is a Jadon Sancho on the left, which I think he deserves to play. You know, brilliant against Bournemouth. And, you know, he's obviously got more training under his belt. We need to work on his match fitness, of course, because he's not played an awful lot this season. Those minutes against Bournemouth were his first minutes of the campaign. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that's not bad. You know, you've got two direct wingers. You know, I think you can get at West Ham's fullbacks. I think Emerson's injured, so you're going to be looking at Wan-Bissaka and Soufal. We know that Wan-Bissaka can be got at defensively. We know Soufal can also be got at defensively. So Sancho and Madueke could be really, really important tomorrow. And I think you do need to go with two out-and-out wingers on this one. I really do. Why don't they send out the injured list anymore? I don't know. I don't know why. Forest at home, 3 points. That's what the Dippers thought. We robbed a win at Bournemouth. I wouldn't say we're looking bang average. Like Bournemouth, we were terrible. I agree. You know, there was an improvement in the first half. You know, there was an improvement in the second half. But yeah, Bournemouth was poor. I absolutely agree. Bournemouth was poor. I get that, and it's true. But right now, we only see one way of how he works. If he's a Swiss Army knife kind of coach, surely there's, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure there is. And look, Palmer will, on occasion, I'm sure, play on the right hand side. But I think, you know, in the ideal world, in his first choice, plans and first choice situation, that's where he's going to play. It is. I feel bad not starting Nkunku, but I just don't see him starting. I really don't. And I think Jackson will continue to play through the middle. I really do. I think Nkunku maybe starts against Barrow as a number 10. That would be my thought on it. I'm starting Enzo because, despite what a lot of Chelsea fans think, he's a very good player, and he's the only midfield player we've got who's can actually pass the ball and has got a range of passing. You know, a ball playing midfielder. He's the only one in there that is a ball playing midfielder. So that is why he's playing. There's no way I'm starting Jackson instead of Nkunku. Fair enough. For me personally, I think Jackson offers more to the team in terms of overall play. But ultimately, you want someone at the top end of the pitch who's going to stick the ball in the back of the net. And Nkunku is probably the most likely candidate to do that. So this is it. You know, if you say who would as a centre back, who would you rather play against, Nkunku or Jackson? I'd probably say Nkunku, because Jackson, as you say, Miles, you know, he does give centre backs a headache. His hold up play, pace, you know, runs channels, pulls them out of position and whatnot. You know, you're going to have a much more difficult time against Jackson than you are against Nkunku. Now, that's not me saying that you're going to have an easy time against Nkunku. That's not what I'm saying. But it's, you know, you're as a centre back, I think you would rather play against Nkunku. That's just my honest thoughts. That is just my honest thoughts. Now, guys, we're on 53 likes. Come on, people. Let's get this to 60. We should be on 100 likes. I don't know whether it's going to happen or not. It probably isn't going to happen, which is poor. But yeah, people, come on. Let's run it up. Let's run it up, guys. Let's run it up. Come on, people. 53 likes. Let's get this to at least 60. That should be the bare minimum amount of likes. So let's make sure that we are getting this done, guys. Make sure we're getting this done. Bournemouth under Ariola are not scrubs, though. Yeah, no, they're not. They're not bad. They're not a bad team. You know, I'm delighted with the 3 points. Absolutely. West Ham will put us under pressure. We need to be clinical. I agree that we need to be clinical, and they will put us under pressure. Paqueta, Bowen, Kudus, Somerville if he plays. You know, they got players that can hurt us. Absolutely. Hope that every game we play. We should have kept Jorginho if we keep playing Enzo. I mean, that's just nonsense, utter nonsense. Why Enzo Fernandez should be Chelsea captain? Because he's always fit every week. Would you say we controlled any game yet? It's difficult. I think we've had control in elements of games, but there's also been a lot of games where we've not had control. I mean, second half against Wolves, I thought we were very much in control of that game. Bournemouth in the second half, I think we controlled it a little bit more. Palace, I felt we controlled the game there for the vast majorities of it. It is a bit back and forth still, but I do think, generally speaking, we do have a bit more control over games. No, who did sign Nkunku? Was that wasn't a Roman buy, was it? Was that a Bowley buy? I'm pretty sure that was a I can't remember. I can't remember. Jackson has everything except two things. His finishing is poor, and his decision making at times is horrible. Yeah, I wouldn't say his finishing was poor, because he does score goals, but it does drastically need improvement. There's no denying that. He will be fully aware that his finishing needs improvement. He will absolutely know. He'll absolutely know that that's the case. That his finishing needs to improve. No, Jackson Maresca was not afraid to make subs and not afraid to make changes. He absolutely isn't. He knows that Jackson will know that if he's not really performing well, then Nkunku will come off the bench and replace him. He knows that. He knows that. That's not some sort of revelationary sort of situation that we find ourselves in. That is very much the reality of the situation right now. Very much the reality of the situation right now. So yeah, I'm really not that fussed about things. Not that fussed. About who starts. As long as we win and we get the job done, that for me is the most important thing. That is the most important thing. But yeah, Jackson will know that the threat of Nkunku is there from the bench. If Sancho and Neto start, we will create chances. That's why I would start Nkunku. I mean, look, Madueke can create chances as well. It appears to be heading that way, but he can change. He can change that situation by putting in some good performances. I know we've not seen enough of it right now, but it appears to only be heading one way. But at the end of the day, he's got it in his power to change it. And why can't he change it? Why can't he change it? Let's wait and see. But I would agree the writing is looking like it's on the wall for Madrid right now. Nkunku was a Marina work, though Bowley was the one who completed it. That is true, actually. I do remember that being the case. We need to be consistent. We need to do well second half. Yep. When do you think we'll get? I've got no idea. Oh, bro, are you, bro? Are you Stevie Wonder? Like, can you not see? He's not been shit. That just isn't true. That just simply isn't true. I think you're well wide of the mark there. Well wide of the mark. Has he been less effective in certain games than others? Yeah, absolutely. But he's still, has a slot nailed down in that team right now. He still has a slot nailed down in that team right now, in my view. Obviously, people have got different opinions, and that's fine. But I think you're way off it by saying he's been shit. I really do think you're way off it on that one. Personally, for me, he needs to play as the deepest lying midfielder. But the problem is, though, like Lavia is probably more important in that position. Look, it's heading towards that way, particularly when you see the players that have got to come in next summer. Unless Madrid can suddenly turn up and put in some decent performances, then yeah, it's gonna be problematic. There's no denying that. It is very much gonna be a problematic situation. There's no escaping that, guys. No escaping that. It's going to be tricky for us. It really is. But that's kind of something that we're going to have to accept. And yeah, how much money will we get for him? I've got absolutely no idea. But it's something that we're going to need to see. We're going to need to see what happens here. We are going to need to see what happens with him. But I would agree that it only appears to be heading one way at the moment, and it's not heading a good way. Agreed. I take the wins for now too, but so far we haven't controlled 100% of the game. I think it's very hard to control 100% of a game, personally. I do think it's difficult to control 100% of a game, but yeah. We kind of look. It almost is to a certain degree a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. That is kind of what we're playing. Palmer is an 8/10, and then you got Caicedo and Enzo in there. It is a variation of a 4-3-3. Well, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, look, I'm not saying that Madueke is just be starting for no reason, but if we're being honest, he hasn't performed badly enough, in my opinion, to warrant losing his place in the starting lineup. That's just my thoughts on it. Neto's had opportunities as well. He's not quite, delivered the level of performance we're looking for yet. It's very early days for him. So yeah, look, I would continue to start Noni because I don't think he's done enough to be dropped. And I don't think Neto, for example, has done enough to warrant taking his place. That's my thoughts. Maybe, but it doesn't strike me as the sort of type that as sort of captain type. But he could mature into a different kind of player. Sure, that there is absolutely the possibility of that being the case. I think that's possible. Mudryk price has dropped. Yeah, I've got no idea what you'd get from Mykhailo Mudryk now. Probably not an awful lot of money. It will take a while before we start controlling games. Yeah, I agree. I still think Maresca doesn't really know what his first choice lineup is at the moment. I still feel he doesn't know what the first choice lineup is. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. That's for sure. It is going to be an interesting one. Yeah, I look forward. I look forward to seeing Neto on the right hand side. I really do look forward to seeing Neto on that right hand side, and yeah, he will get plenty of opportunities there as well. And it's good to have healthy competition for places, and that's exactly what we've got. That is exactly what we've got at the moment. Healthy competition for places. But all I'm saying is that right now, in my opinion, it doesn't, there's not going to be there's not grounds really, in my opinion, for Madueke to be dropped for this game at this point in time. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Madueke has got that locked down for the foreseeable future. I'm just saying that right now in the start of the season, he deserves to keep his place for this game as well. That's the reality in my opinion. That's all I'm going to say on that. I mean, guys, get your score predictions in. Yeah, I think Mudryk would be a loan first before a permanent sell. I would agree on that front. Absolutely agree. What are we looking at here, guys? Get your score predictions in. What are you saying? 1-1. We outscored West Ham, in my opinion. None might score tomorrow. Well, I don't care who scores, anyone. Say smash and grab 2-1. Yeah, I would love to back that. My thoughts is a 1-1 draw. I know that's a little bit sitting on the fence, a little bit boring, but yeah, I'd be going with a 1-1 draw. Yeah, 1-1 draw for me, and I'd love to be proven wrong, but I think that is what we're going to get. 6-2. I mean, bro, that's not going to happen. 3-1 Chelsea would absolutely love that. 1-1. Yeah, guys, keep your score predictions. Keep your score predictions coming in. Keep them coming in. Would greatly appreciate that for sure. Would greatly appreciate it. So please do let me know on that front. Please do let me know. What else have we got going on at the moment? Guys, also, by the way, let me know your thoughts on this. Like in terms of the lives and stuff. I mean, if there's not much going on, do you prefer just a video match preview, or do you like the lives? There'll always be a live match reaction show. And if there's enough news, there will be live stuff. I mean, what are your thoughts on the lives in the week, though, guys? Let me know your thoughts, because obviously, thinking numbers wise, thinking sort of like what you guys want to see. If there's not really that much to talk about, it could maybe be done as a pre-record in terms of videos as well. I mean, I'll still do the lives for sure. It just feels like with certain games and stuff, there's not been an awful lot going on. And is it better to just do a video rather than a live? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Nkunku has to start. 2-1 Chelsea, Palmer, Pen. West Ham will have high centre-backs as well. Yes, big up, big up. Tosin is tall. Yeah, Tosin is tall, for sure. But yeah, West Ham will be a threat from set pieces also. No denying that. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. Do you want, obviously for the big games can be live previews, but for the sort of the smaller games, guys, do you prefer a pre-recorded preview? For example, Barrow or whatever. There's not really going to be much point going live for Barrow and things like that. So guys, let me know your thoughts. Big game live for big game previews, and then for the smaller games, a pre-recorded preview. Let me know. Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know your thoughts, people. What do you prefer, live previews or the pre-recorded previews? Please do let me know. Nkunku will bag a goal if we start. Just watch. I hope he does. I hope he does. But I just don't see that being the case. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I just don't see that being the case. Physicality is what I'm worried about. West Ham, yeah, West Ham are a physical team. They are a physical team. Any news on sponsorship? Yeah, it's mad. No, nothing. Absolutely nothing right now on sponsorship. No update on that at all, guys. No update. Like when you do like live, fair enough. Pre-recording, yeah. There'll be a combination. I'm just sort of thinking of plans moving forwards. In terms of content when there's not much going on. Also, guys, what other collabs do you want to see? Obviously, we did the Matisse one earlier this week. I'm sure we can run that back again at some point. But guys, what other collabs do you also want to see? Please do let me know. Please do let me know, guys, what other collaborations you would like to see. And I can see if I can get those sorted out. Home fans are too demanding. I don't expect us to win against Brighton. Bro, we should be winning against Brighton. I hope we play well anyway. Yeah. How satisfied are? Yeah, I'm reasonably satisfied. Yeah, I don't think that I don't think we've got any less points than we should have had at this stage. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy with what's happening at the moment. Reasonably happy with what's happening at the moment. Get Miz on. Yeah, let's see if we can get that to well. Obviously, a big time difference to sort out, but let's see if we can get that to work. That would be interesting. But guys, 8 likes away from 70. Please smash that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. Let's get this up to 70 likes. But yeah, guys, unless anyone's got any last minute questions in the chat, then I am going to round this one out. Eunice, yeah, we can try that. Who's Tobago? I don't even know who that is. I don't want to be disrespectful or anything, but not heard of them. Yes, big up, brother, big up, all good. But yeah, guys, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on how you want to see the content evolving on the channel. Please keep smashing that like button, guys. We've got another video dropping at 6 p.m. Expressions is big time. It's going to be pretty hard to get hold of him. Could obviously try. I can do Nina. That's fine. No, that's not a problem. Yeah, guys, 5 more likes. Please run it up on those likes. West Ham are in transition. They're still finding their way of new players. Could be a good time to play them. I agree on that. Similarities to us as well in that sense, finding their way under a new manager. But yeah, guys, smash the like button. Let's get 4 more likes to 70. Run it up, guys. Yeah, we can try that. We can try that as well. Yeah, people, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new round here, guys. And I will catch you again in another one soon. Tomorrow, guys, there'll be no live tomorrow night. Because I am going straight from West Ham to the boxing at Wembley for AJ Dubois. So there'll be no live tomorrow night. There will be a video after the game. I'll either do the vlog. I might be doing the vlog for Chelsea Fan TV, potentially. I'm not sure yet. But there'll be tomorrow, guys, after the game. There'll either be a match reaction video from outside the stadium or the vlog. And then, obviously, on Sunday, there'll be a call-in show for you guys to have your say on the game, probably Sunday morning. So that's going to be the next lot of content coming out. Opposition preview dropping at 6 p.m, guys. Make sure you stay tuned to that one. Also, make sure you watch the upload as well for the tactical breakdown with Connor as well. Some great insight there as well. So yeah, lots to check out on the channel, guys. More stuff coming out. That's the plan for the weekend. Love, as always, people. Smash the like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Get me 2 more likes to 70. Love for all the support as always, guys. And I will catch you lot again soon. Enjoy your Friday evening. Have a good day tomorrow. Up the Chelsea and peace out.